Unlock your true potential with the Leaders S.H.I.F.T community, where we empower men to embrace self-awareness and authenticity. Introducing the Leaders S.H.I.F.T community, where we believe in helping men become the best version of themselves. It all starts with self-awareness, and we encourage men to take a step back, pause, and reflect on their thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Embrace their authenticity and break free from societal expectations. Here are just a few testimonies from individuals. Leadership helped me develop self-awareness and embrace my authentic self. And now I feel more confident and fulfilled. Question: are you ready to unlock your potential? If so, join the Leaders S.H.I.F.T community today. Welcome on into the Leaders S.H.I.F.T podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Roberts. The Leaders S.H.I.F.T podcast, it's here. Our goal is to influence and inspire and ignite men to make the shift in their personal leadership, becoming the best version of themselves and unlocking their true potential. We'll share tools, tips, resources to ignite self-awareness and authenticity. I want to say thank you for taking a vital step towards becoming the best version of yourself. On today's episode, I am joined by my man, Jay Chase. Jay is a speaker, coach, communication trainer, and leadership development expert. Jay says he loves inspiring others to achieve their own peace and personal growth through motivational talks and leadership development. Fellas, give a warm welcome to my man, Jay Chase. What's happening, Jay?
What's poppin', family? So happy to be here, man. Feeling blessed, man. It's been a long time coming. So excited to finally get the official invitation to sit down and chop it up with you, Mr. Roberts. So grateful to be here, man. So grateful.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you. I want to say thank you for taking time out your day. Brother, before we get started, man, do me a favor, man. A moment, man, and introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Jay Chase, and I am a speaker, coach, trainer, facilitator. I help leaders, CEOs, and emerging leaders manage destructive emotions and habits to lead a full and effective life. And I do that through helping them improve their relationships and communication.
You make it sound so easy. Real quick, what inspired you to become a transformational speaker or a coach or leadership development?
And just a turn of events in my own life, just seeing where I came from, and then people around me seeing the shift that I made from convict to CEO, and the people seeing how much I grinded in the car business to get out of the hole that I was in, whether that was sales, communication, relationships, and telling me that they were inspired by me. And then it was 2021. I was hosting a Bible study in my living room right after COVID, kind of in the thick of it. And it wasn't, one of those, your traditional Bible studies. It was kind of geared towards those people who have a little bit of church hurt. Hey, this ain't church. We're just going to get together and read the word and talk about our testimony. And one night, my friend said, Jay, you got an amazing testimony. You should start a podcast. I said, you're crazy. I absolutely hate my voice. He said, no. So many people will benefit from your testimony. And I said, okay, if you show me how, if you show me the steps it takes to start a podcast, I'll do it in 30 days. He said, bet, you're on. And the next day, he showed back up with a handwritten business plan on how to start a podcast. And I was like, all right, let's get to work. And 30 days later, birth, Don't Touch My Mindset. And that started this whole journey to speaker, coach, author, trainer, facilitator. And it has been a wild, amazing, crazy ride.
That's amazing. Now that's phenomenal. I hear so much there, right? One, there was some support there. some people that was in your corner, and saw some potential that you didn't even see in yourself, right? And in many cases, I heard you say too, I just didn't like my voice, and we always nitpicking, right? And those things can kind of be some limitations in our own life. My question for you is, what do you think is the most important quality to help men develop and overcome some of those limiting beliefs?
Being honest about where you're at, right? Humbleness and humility. A lot of people think that humility or humbleness is say, no, I'm less than, no, I can't do this, or don't give me glory or accolades. But really, it means to recognize what is for what it is, you know, and that's to humble yourself. To be humble is to recognize what is for what it is. And when my friends are telling me I got an amazing story, am I humbling myself by saying, no, 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 I don't? My story's just like everybody else. That's not humbling myself. That's denying what my friends are telling me, right? Them saying I should stop or I should start a podcast, right? I'm like, no, I don't like well, we block our own blessings, right? So I'm not humbling myself by saying, no, I'm not going to tell my story. I'm not going to tell my testimony. I'm not going to start my podcast because I don't like my voice. Well, number one, that's selfish. So we have to be honest and humble ourselves. Recognize what is. If we have a gift, we have a gift. Then number two is being open to support. A lot of men these days aren't open to support, very rejective, right? Like, I'll help you. No, you won't. You want to get something from me. No, there's genuine people out there that just want to help you. And being surrounded by those people allow me to lower my guard and be vulnerable. So I would think the most important qualities that it takes for somebody to successfully develop themselves is humbleness and vulnerability.
Man, that's real. Thanks for that one too, man. That transparency and honesty. So here we go. I got another question, and this one's going to really, I want to lead you into really just sharing your expertise, my friend. What would you say will be required for us as men to cultivate more meaningful connections with those that mean the most for us? I believe that this is a challenge for a lot of men, um, cultivating meaningful connections through their leadership.
And that's such a great question because when it comes to leadership, a lot of men think that they have the answer and they've been appointed leadership for one reason, and that's to lead. When really, leading is the last part of leadership that you do. First, you listen, then you learn, and then you lead, right? So, to your question, first, to develop meaningful connections, right? You have to listen to the people that you're leading. There's two things that every leader has in common is that they're going places and that people are following them. But what differentiates a dictator versus a leader, do you listen to the people that you're leading? And then do you learn the needs and the solutions of the people that you're leading? And then you lead them according to what you've heard and what you've learned.
So what's some of the challenges when it comes to listen? Because I like this, and it's listening to be more effective, to be able to connect more, and have more meaningful connections. There's learning, and then there's that last part. And I love what you said here. Leading is the last act to start to connecting with people. Man, give me more detail about listening.
One, we 9 times out of 10 only communicate in our language, right? So you can put everybody into 4 different categories, 4 different personality types when it comes to communication style, right? And most of the time, we're only going to communicate to people how we know how to communicate. So if you drop me in Mexico, I'm going to ask somebody where the nearest gas station is in English, right? Like I'm going to try, right? But then if I don't take the time to listen, right? How does somebody say gas station? How do I learn how to say gas station? And then I can lead somebody to a solution of like, hey, where can I find the gas station, speaking in their communication style? So the first thing is listening. What is this person saying? How are they saying it? Because we're too busy talking, right? We're too busy speaking, leading, as most men think, to listen or to slow down. So I advise all my men to slow down and actually listen to what the person is saying.
We over here taking notes, bruh. You got over here taking notes because this is good. Like to that, yeah. Sometimes we just need to slow down. We need to hear what people are saying. You know, it's interesting enough you say that because um, one of my personal disconnects I experienced here recently with my beloved was um, she was letting me know that D, you ain't listening.
Mm,
You're not listening. And you know what I found myself doing, bruh? I found myself saying, defending myself. I
mm.
felt myself saying, no, I'm listening. "Mm, yeah, I'm listening. I hear you. Right. But in actuality, I was talking. I was thinking of my next response. And the whole time she's saying, you're not listening though. You're not listening. And to the place and point where I just realized that I needed to shut up. Yeah. Talk to me about this, guys, that may be finding challenges, really getting to this place to open up and listen.
One, you gotta understand who you are. You gotta understand how you communicate. Like you gotta understand who you are. Like for you, you know that you like to talk. Same as me, right? That's why we're podcast hosts. And so when somebody's talking to you, you're like, oh, okay, how can I make this sound sweet? How can I make this deep? How can like I already know what they saying. But you're in your head. You're making the whole conversation about you. When really the conversation needs to be is how can I look for ways to add value to this person? How can I think of ways to add value to this person? How can I look for ways to add value to this person? And then actually do the things that I think of, see, and hear that this person needs so I can actually add value to them, right? And that's the prime part of listening. Even if you have a hard time listen so you can add value, right? Don't listen just so you can hold weight, but listen so you can add value. And sometimes that even means guiding the conversation of where you can add value to. And if you know yourself, like I said, the first part of listening is knowing yourself. I know I got to slow down and stop talking sometime in order to listen. I'll be in a podcast interview and forget what the question was as I'm answering it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I hope I answered it because Jay, were you listening or were you thinking about how to try to make it deep? You know what I mean? And so when I slow down, I know that I like to talk. I'm like, all right, Jay, in order to really connect, right? Whatever you say has to build off what they say. So I need you to slow down and listen. It's uncomfortable. It's difficult at first, but effort will get you a long way.
And that's so good. That's so good. And I want to go. I want to double back just a little bit because you said you want to add value to them. You know, and understanding your particular behavior style. We're talkative. You and I think we both got that flight attendant, that high I in us, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do we add value? What would that value look like? Can you?
Well, value can show up in so many different ways. And that's why I say you listen, you learn, and then you lead. Because after you listen, you learn where you can add value. And then you lead them to that spot of, hey, this is what I have to offer. But you got to know what you have to offer. For me, I know that I am extremely extroverted, optimistic, inspiring, gregarious when it comes to interacting with people, and then when it comes to making decisions and solving problems, I'm competitive, driven, and ambitious about it. And what I've came to discover about myself is that I'm a people pleasing problem solver. That's all that I am. So I'm trying to find out, okay, what's the best way to please this person by solving their problems? Because I know who I am. So my value is going to look like maybe a coaching session. My value is going to look like, okay, how do we get from here to there? My value is going to look like, sit down, let's talk about it. Are you experiencing a problem? Because I know what I bring to the table. Now, that may be different than what you bring to the table. A people pleasing supporter, a people pleasing leader, like whatever it may be. But I know that I put people first so much that my value's in people, and that's what I have to bring to the table. And so I look for ways to add value, not looking for their problems, not looking for what's wrong, not looking for, how are they messing up? How are they not doing what they do? No, I'm looking for the problem that I solve, which is managing destructive emotions and habits so you can lead a full and effective life by improving your relationships through improving your communication. right? So as soon as I hear somebody talk about, oh man, my spouse tripping, whoa, why do you think that is? Because that's the problem I solve: relationships and communication. And so I listened, I learned that they had a problem. Now I'm leading myself to help them solve it.
And that's real good. That's real good. Now, so what happens to the guy who's challenged to say, what do I need to learn here? What
Mm.
what do I need to learn? Where does learning start? And I'm sure where you're gonna go with this, because we start with one ourselves, right? It starts with us. But how do I identify what I need to learn? Maybe one or two things I need to recognize. And then how do I, to the flip side of that, connect that to what I might need to learn from the individual that I'm having this disconnect with?
Yeah, that's good. Have you ever met somebody and within the first 5 seconds you're like, "Ooh, I don't like that person."
Yeah.
You know, within the first 5 seconds, you're like, yeah, can't be around them. 9 times out of 10, that person has the exact same quality that you have. And so that's why you noticed it. That's why you recognized it so quick,
Uh,
right? Ooh, they talk over people. Well, so do you.
mhm.
So when you see something that you don't like in somebody else, look in the mirror first, search you, make sure that you don't have that quality for the reason that you recognize it so quickly. And then if you don't, you can say, all right, I need to move away from that situation because XYZ. Or if you do have that quality, you're like, oh, I kind of talk over people. Well, that's the first place we start, like you said, with ourselves. No matter if it comes from somebody else, it's always a revelation of a reflection of who you are.
It's real good. Yeah, self-reflection, and I wrote down man in the mirror effect. You gotta take a time and do the reflection, boy, on your own self. See what's going on. Now, to the back part of that. Now, how do I identify what I must learn from them? Because if I reflect, I saw for myself, okay, and I'm just going back to my example, right? That, you know what, D, you need to just be quiet. Take a moment and be quiet. And afterwards, I was able to process. I was able to process. For someone that's feeling attacked, maybe not feeling like they're being heard, what should they learn in when it after this mirror reflected self-reflection?
Man, yeah, that's a really good question. Cause it's hard to get out of your own way when you feel like somebody's doing something personally to you. When you feel like you're being attacked, when somebody's like when you got a target on your back, when you feel like somebody's after you because of who you are. And my biggest piece of encouragement, what I tell leaders, what I tell most bosses, CEOs, and things like that, is that there's a place where you can operate and know that somebody's behavior is just like as you self reflect, guess what? They need to self reflect. So it's understanding others as well. So it's understanding that just because they said, hey, Jay, I think you ugly. Oh, well, I'm sorry you feel that way about me. But that's what it is in your world. Now, I'm not attached, nor do I want to take it personally, but I truly don't believe that you're attacking me. I think that's how you lead yourself every day. I think that's how you talk to yourself. I think you wake up and you say, hey, you're ugly. You know what I mean? Versus the way that I wake up and I say, Jay, I love you. You phenomenal. And so it's easier for me to say those things, right? So if you feel like you're being attacked, ask yourself, is this often by this person? Is this person target? Then it's something that they're probably dealing with. And you just need to get to a point where you don't take it personally. So pour that love into yourself.
Man, phenomenal. Real good. Self-talk. Um, be keenly aware of the situation, and then be able to don't take it personal, but be understanding and talk and self-talk yourself through, motivate and inspire yourself through. I think that's good. That's real good. So now we made it through listening. We got learning. We got some steps for learning. How do where does leadership fall into play? Talk to me, man.
Well, leadership, like I said, it may be the last part that you do in the equation, but it's the most essential, right? Going back to your wife example, D, you're not listening to me. Were you able to learn something while you listened? No, because you weren't listening. So it's the equation that you got to follow, right? And leading is the most essential part because once you hear them, you listen to them. and you learn what they need. Imagine if you didn't make the adjustment.
And we'd be still arguing today, probably.
So how you lead yourself matters so much because now you got to make the adjustment according to the needs that you've learned from listening to them, and so you can lead them. So you can lead them better.
So are you telling me leadership isn't me telling people, no, I'm listening, to telling people, do it my way? Leadership requires me to make a personal adjustment in how I add value to people because I took time to learn what they needed
Yeah.
so I can lead from that's most essential by example.
Exemplification, the best type of leadership. First, you lead yourself, and then people follow you for what you've done for yourself, not because of how you lead, not because of the results that you get, not because, oh, he's a smooth talker. People follow you because you are you and what you have done for yourself. So when you're leading yourself, guess what? You've learned yourself, you've listened to yourself, and now you can lead yourself.
And hands down good because I think that's the key that most people might just miss here when they think of leadership. And to your point, leadership is being able to lead yourself effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're able to establish that relationship with self and establish that connection with self, it's how much easier it is to establish a relationship, a meaningful connection with somebody else.
But I want to close this thing out, man. And if you would just rock with your boy for a little bit. I got three surefire rapid questions I want to ask,
Yeah.
um, and see get your response. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
Without overthinking, who are your three top motivational speakers or leaders that you follow?
Wow. E.T. the hip hop preacher, Inky Johnson, of course, and John Maxwell.
Come on, come on. I think we got some of the favorites. What top three books would you recommend?
The Superior Man by David Dieta, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and then right after that, read The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel
Here
Ruiz.
we go. You're approaching the traffic light. It goes from green to amber. Do you speed up or do you slow down? And
Me,
why?
me, I slow down.
Really? Why?
Yeah, yeah, because it's uncomfortable.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. You rock the boat now.
Natural inclination is to speed up.
Yeah.
Everybody want to speed up. Everybody want to make the light. Slow down. You'll be amazed at the things that you can see in life when you slow down.
Come
So
on.
every opportunity that I get, I try to slow down. Individually, naturally, I'm a fast-paced individual. So every opportunity I get to be uncomfortable and slow down, that's what I do.
I like that. I like that. Now, what was the process behind making that adjustment to slow down?
Man, it takes intentionality.
Mhm.
Everything takes time, whether it's quick time, long time, but it was being intentional. Once I set the intention to do it, I followed it up with implementation. I intended to enjoy more out of life. When I got out of prison in 2017, July 1st, I had to slow down because I was already taken away from society. And so often men get out of prison. Like, I got to get back to what I was doing. I got to get back to the grind. I got to get back to the hustle. I said, nah, Jay, we're going to switch it up. Let's take time to really create who you want to be and who you are and the type of man and the type of life that you want to lead. So since 2017, I've been slowing down a lot.
I love it. Yeah, slow down. Get clear of who you are, who you want to be. Phenomenal, man. I could go another 20 minutes with you, bruh. But I got one last question.
Yeah.
And this is for the fellas, right? What's your final word of encouragement to those who may be saying, you know what, I just don't see myself as a leader. And I got it. I hear you guys, what you're saying, but give me what's the first step I should take right now?
Erase everything that you knew or thought you knew about leadership and know that leadership only comes with development, right? That all you have to develop into the leader that you want to be. right? Nobody's born with natural born leadership, talent, skills, whatever. Somebody might be born with a little bit better decision-making skills, a little bit better interaction-making skills. Somebody might be able to show a little bit more empathy than you. Somebody might be able to even understand and be a little bit more analytical than you. But I promise you, if you are intentional about who you're leading, why you're leading, and you learn how to lead them, I promise you, you'll be a phenomenal leader.
I'm going to put this back in your hands. We're going to close this thing out. Sum us up and then tell the people how they can connect with you, learn more about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a phenomenal conversation. Thank you for the invitation. So you guys can find me on social media, VJ Chase. Go to the website, vjchase.com. Listen to the podcast. Don't touch my mindset, right? Everything you need to know about personal growth and professional growth. And late fall, be on the lookout in your nearest bookstore, Amazon, for my book that we will be releasing. Pre-orders go up soon, so please check the website. The Equities of Self-Leadership: How to Lead a Full and Effective Life.
Come on. I can't wait to see that there drop. Listen, guys, y'all heard it right here. It's my man, Jay Chase, man. I definitely endorse this guy. Go check out the podcast. Don't touch my mindset. Go to the webpage, thejchase.com. Pick up Pivot. That's right. That's the acronym PIVOT. Power, pain, imagination, ego, vision over everything is God's will. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
And tenacity, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Pivot. Go check out. He has a phenomenal ebook out there on his webpage. And go see what Jay's doing, man. Follow him on his social media at the Chase, Jay Chase. Just that simple, man. I want to say thank you, brother, for a phenomenal time. I wish you the best, bro.
Yeah, man, this has been a blessing. This has been a blessing. So I wish you the best. If y'all hear this, DM me Leaders Shift for a little exclusive gift. All right.
That's what's up. Listen, guys, this is the Leadership Podcast. I'm your boy, Dwayne Roberts. Never miss an opportunity to grow yourself. Head over to the webpage, DwayneHRoberts.com. There you can learn more. If you're following us on the social media page, you're listening to the podcast, please subscribe to the podcast. As you always hear your boy say, your success is in your hands. I want to say thank you and God bless.